Shalom, shalom, Likulam, shalom à tout le monde. Shalom, shalom to everybody. Can you hear me? Vous m'entendez? Can you hear me? Sorry, I have to send the studio link to the one who are among the representative. Un instant. Some technical issue. Un instant, j'arrive l'aspect technique. So, shalom, shalom to everybody. Bonjour à tout le monde. Give me 1 second, please. Just dealing with this aspect. Shalom, shalom, Rabbi Shai Moshe.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, 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 shalom.
Très bien le fond d'écran. Hein.
Ah, on commence à redonner de la vie à nos traditions.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. J'ai pas encore eu l'occasion d'aller vers ces endroits-là ici à Madagascar, mais
ouais.
Parce que bon, les attachés.
Ah, les attachés, ça ne saurait tarder. Je sais que tu es en train de prolonger ton séjour là-bas, là.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem.
Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom aux autres. On entend quelques minutes. Let's wait a few minutes just to before we start. On attend quelques minutes avant de commencer. Ça me permet de mettre au point certains détails. It gives me time to put some details on some details and to let people connect slowly. On laisse le temps aussi aux gens de se connecter petit à petit. So there is... Shalom, shalom to everybody on YouTube. Shalom, shalom to everybody also on Facebook. And we will start now. Okay, perfect. Very good. So, Bezrat Hashem, on va... Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Rabbi Israël, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Rabbi Yochanan, shalom, shalom. Bonjour à tous. Morning to everybody. So today we're going to study a topic which is related to the timeline that we'll be facing soon, let's say from Yom Rishon. Donc là, aujourd'hui, on va étudier un sujet qui va concerner un temps du calendrier qu'on va affronter des Yom Sheni, Yom Rishon. Shalom, shalom, Chief Rabbi. El-Hanan.
Shalom, shalom, Chief Rabbi Pinchas.
Shalom, shalom. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. How are you, Rabbi Pinchas?
Baruch Hashem. We just appreciate your face of angel with the talit and the tefillin. I don't know what you are doing, but it's shaking.
I was in my hockey Israel. Oh, yes.
Shalom, shalom.
We are just simply wanted to break this pot. Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, Harav. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Shalom to Rabbi Eldad from Nigeria also. Shalom à tout le monde. Bonjour à tous. Bonjour, bonjour. So the Limud will be 1 second. So the Limud will be, first of all, for the Refoua Shelema of Rabbi Baruch Binyamin Ben Aziza. Donc le Limud sera pour la Refoua Shelema de Rabbi Baruch Binyamin Ben Aziza. Aussi, and also for the Leilut Nishmat Rabbi Shimon Ben Esther. The Limud will be also, le Limud sera aussi pour la réussite et la bénédiction de. So the Limud will be also for the blessing and the success of. Let me read the name. Give me a few seconds. Of Shine, Ishaya, and the parents and mom and dad. Blessing for all this family. Mais Hachem, que Hachem leur donne bracha, atzlacha, réussite, Torah, kedusha. And also for all the people who are sick and need some blessing, may the limud of today be helpful for you. Et pour tous ceux qui sont malades, qui ont besoin de réussite et de bénédiction, que ce limud puisse vous donner du mérite, Bezrat Hashem. 1 second. So 1 second. So let me start about the topic. Donc, on commence le sujet. We will study today the topic of the Selikhot. On va étudier le sujet Selikhot to see what it means and how do we apply it, how do we understand it from the corner of the Nusakh Afriki. Donc, on va d'abord étudier le sujet de Selikhot. On va essayer de voir ce que ça veut dire, ce que ça implique et comment nous, en tant que Nusakh Afriki, on comprend et on l'applique. So my first shalom to the studio, to Rabbi Moshe, and to the Rabbanit Rachel, shalom. Donc la question qu'on va se demander, c'est quelle est la position de nous, Béné Afriki, Béné Moshe, dans le sujet du Selikhot. So the question we're going to ask today is shalom, Rabbi, Chief Rabbi Kish. Shalom. Donc, the question we're going to ask today is what is the way we will understand this minag, this question of doing Selikhot? Do we do like the Sfaradim? I don't say that we adopt the Sephardi way of understanding. I'm saying, do we do like the Sfaradim? Donc, ma première question, c'est au niveau des Selikhot. Est-ce qu'on fait comme les Sfaradim? Je n'ai pas dit que nous sommes les Sefaradim. Je demande, est-ce que nous faisons comme les Sefaradim? La deuxième question, c'est si oui, est-ce qu'on commence le lendemain de Rosh Chodesh Elul? If yes, do we start the next day after Rosh Chodesh Elul? Second question, do we do according to the Ashkenazi way of understanding the Selikhot? Est-ce qu'on fait selon le Nusakh Ashkenazi, enfin le mode de la compréhension Ashkenazi? They start from the after Rosh Chodesh Tishri. Eux, ils commencent après Rosh Chodesh Tishri. So, what is basically the position? What does it mean? C'est quoi la position? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Comment on le comprend? D'où ça vient? So, my first question to all the rabbis who are in the group now, can you tell me where is the Selikhot from, the minag? Tous ceux qui sont là dans le studio, pouvez-vous me dire ce que vous savez du Selikhot? D'où vient ce minag? Pourquoi on le fait? Sentez-vous à l'aise de prendre la parole. Feel free to take the speech. I'm waiting for your orientations and answers. J'entends vos orientations et vos réponses. Feel free. Who want to try? Tzadikim, Rabbanim, can you hear me?
Yes, everything has.
So, who can tell me where is the minag of the Selikhot from? Qui peut me dire d'où vient le minag des Selikhot? This is the beginning, c'est le début. Before to discuss the way to do it, the way to practice, we have to understand what is the roots of that minag and the roots of that halakha. Avant de se décider sur ce que nous faisons ou ne faisons pas, on doit comprendre c'est quoi la racine de ce minag, c'est quoi la racine de cette halakha. Who want to try? Qui veut essayer?
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, Baishai. Shalom, shalom.
J'ai tenté du coup.
Ok. Daraba.
Mais Hashem. On a appris qu'il y a 3 mois qui appartiennent à Esav.
Mm-hmm.
Et les deux mois ont été récupérés par Yaakov Avinu.
Mm-hmm.
Et le 3e qui est le mois des Loul qui est toujours entre les mains de Esav.
Mm-hmm.
Et est-ce que ce serait en lien avec ça, l'origine de Selikhot?
He said basically, we saw that we have 3 months that were given to Esav, which are Tammuz, Av, and Elul. And in the history and in the story and the wisdom of our sages, we know that Yaakov took back 1 month. Donc on sait qu'il y a 3 mois qui ont été donnés à Esav et à ses enfants. Ces 3 mois-là sont le mois de Tammuz, de Elul et de Av. On verra ça dans le détail. We're going to see it in the detail in the text. And after that, we know also that Yaakov, on sait aussi que Yaakov, il a pris le 3e mois, qui était le mois de Elul. Donc Rabbi Yishai dit, est-ce que ça a un lien avec ça? Obligatoirement, oui, ça a un lien. Mais ce n'est pas le point d'ancrage de ce mécor, de ce minag. C'est, yes, Rabbi Yishai asks if there's a link with that says of our sage. Yes, we do have a link, but this is not the central point of what built the minag of the Selikhot. So I try again. Who knows from where do we got the minag of the Selikhot? Qui sait de où et de quand, comment on a le minag des Selikhot?
C'est pas lié au veau d'or?
Comment? Comment?
Au fait que les Sfaradim sont reliés particulièrement par rapport à cette faute, d'avoir fait le Hegel.
Non.
C'est pour ça qu'il commence avant.
Non, c'est pas lié à ça. It's not related to that. Il y a un lien avec le veau d'or, mais c'est pas de là où on tire le minag du Selikhot. There's a link with the golden calf, like said Rabbi Rachel, but it's not from where we got the minag of the Selikhot. So who knows? Qui sait?
I'm not too sure, but I think, is it not from in Shemot, somewhere in there in Shemot, I think chapter 34 speaks about the attribute of the 13 attributes of mercy,
Yes.
And I think from there we developed the minhagim of Selikhot.
So also, it's not wrong what you're saying, Rabbi Nathan. C'est pas faux ce qu'il dit Rabbi Nathan. Il dit c'est peut-être lié à la dimension de tout ce qu'on apprend avec les 13 attributs de miséricorde. C'est pas faux, mais c'est pas exactement la réponse. But it's not exactly the answer. So let me give you the answer. Je vous donne la réponse. The minhag of the Selikhot come from the episode of the golden calf, but exactly when Moshe finished to fix that sin in the camp, and that he will now start to beg Hashem about his pardon, about his forgiveness, and he will make all kind of prayers to say, okay, you should forgive us, show me your face, show me that you are okay, and now you will be with us, in front of us, every time. And Hashem say, okay, I accept. And Moshe will go again 40 days in the mountain, in the top of the mountain, to receive the second Luchot. So meaning, he will go on the 1st of Elul, he will go again, he will climb again. Because remember, he had Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av basically was the saddest day. So it means that the golden calf was made. We brought back death on earth. So what's happened? Tisha B'Av, we have all these weeks till the Rosh Chodesh Elul, where we are basically fixing the destruction and the death we brought back. Moshe received the authorization and the issue that, yes, you are forgiven. And then, yes, we can go higher in our relationship. So come, Moshe, in the mountain of Sinai, and you will stay 40 days. And that 40 days, this is from Rosh Chodesh Elul till Yom Kippur. So basically, what's happened here, we see that the origin of the Selikhot is the fixing of the consequences of what we call the golden calf. This is the 40 days, the second 40 days that Moshe will stay again to receive the second Luchot. Donc j'explique en français. C'est le moment, c'est lié à la faute du veau d'or. Mais qu'est-ce qui se passe? À partir du moment où Moshe il a reçu, on va dire, il a réparé les conséquences du veau d'or et qu'il a tué ce qu'il fallait tuer, brisé ce qu'il fallait briser, et que là, il est en train d'implorer à Kadosh Baruch Hu de lui montrer que réellement Dieu a pardonné et qu'on va aller vers quelque chose de nouveau et qu'on va aller vers une situation où il va réellement rester notre Dieu, notre maître et notre guide. Moshe lui dit, montre-moi que tu nous as pardonné et montre-moi ta face. C'est le fameux épisode de Vayavor. Après cela, Dieu va dire, ok, maintenant que je t'ai pardonné, je vais te donner d'autres Luchot. Mais pour ça, il faut que tu reviennes dans la montagne et là, on va retravailler. Donc, qu'est-ce qui se passe? La destruction totale s'est passée à Tisha B'Av. Donc, ces 3 semaines-là qui séparent, on va dire, Tisha B'Av à Rosh Chodesh Elul, Moshe essaie de reconnecter, lui, le peuple, avec Akadosh Baruch Hu. Et le premier Elul, il remonte à la montagne, où il va rester 40 jours. Ces 40 jours-là, c'est ce qui sépare, en fait, Rosh Chodesh Elul, le premier du mois d'Elul, jusqu'à Yom Kippour. Et c'est ces 40 jours-là dans lesquels se trouve la période des Selikhot. C'est exactement ces 40 jours-là où on fait des Selikhot. On laisse passer Rosh Chodesh Elul, on commence le lendemain de Rosh Chodesh et on finit à Yom Kippour. So meaning that this is exactly what is the period of the Selikhot. We start after Rosh Chodesh because we don't do mourning and Vayavor on Rosh Chodesh. On ne fait pas des supplications à Rosh Chodesh. We start the day after, commence le jour d'après, et on continue jusqu'à Yom Kippur, on fait les grands Selikhot. And we continue till Yom Kippur, where we do the big Selikhot. This is the origin of the minhag of Selikhot. C'est l'origine du minhag de Selikhot. So now I have one question for you. You are rabbis of the Nusakh Afriki. Maintenant, j'ai une question pour vous. Vous êtes les rabbins du Nusakh Afriki. And you know that the halachot, the mindset, and the wisdom of the Nusakh Afriki is rooted for purpose on the Torah of Aleph, meaning the Torah before the sin of the golden calf. Et vous savez que la logique halachique de fonctionnement, de lecture, d'application de loi que nous faisons dans le Nusakh Afriki, il est lié à ce qu'on appelle la Torah Aleph. Cette Torah-là qui était existante avant la faute du veau d'or. So my question for you, what do you do as chief rabbis in your areas about the Selikhot? Ma question pour vous, c'est qu'est-ce que vous faites aujourd'hui en tant que grand rabbin et représentant de vos zones par rapport au Selikhot? Can you give me your answer, please? Pouvez-vous me donner vos réponses? Who want to try? Qui veut essayer? Tabanim Talikim, are you here? Africa is watching you, is watching us studying. So let's have kind of dynamism, Bezrat Hashem. L'Afrique nous regarde étudier. On est we are on a table of Talmidei Chachamim. So let's try to have dynamism. Essayons d'être dynamique. Alors, qu'est-ce que vous faites? Comment vous êtes posek? How do you make the psak halacha? Kabel Yoshimidia, what do you say? I see your mic is on, Rabbi Yoshimida, but we can't hear you yet. We're gonna try. We want to try. Rabbi Ishai, t'as une idée?
Peut-être une idée. Il faudra approfondir parce que la Nusakh Afriki parle du principe de Mishnah.
Okay.
Et il faudrait creuser dans la Mishnah et trouver les Mekorot par rapport au Selikhot. Et maintenant, je n'ai pas encore fait ce travail.
D'accord. Rabbi Ishai said we have maybe to see the Mishnah and to check what's happened there. Let me help you because I think the question is maybe too deep. Je vais vous aider parce que je pense que la question est trop profonde. It's like this. Before to give an answer to that kind of question, you have always to have sources, to take sources and to check and to go deep in the questions. Donc, quand vous êtes en train d'avoir ce genre de questions sur la table, il ne faut jamais aller vite. Il faut chercher des éléments de source et avancer étape par étape. So the first element that we're going to use, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom, Rabbi Deshai. The first question we're going to ask is, what does the sage of Sod, the Mikubalim, say about the Selikhot? Première question, c'est, qu'est-ce que les sages du Sod, les Mikubalim, ils disent à propos des Selikhot? So we have a reference in Shar HaKavanot of Rabbeinu Ari HaKadosh. On a une référence dans Shar HaKavanot du Ari HaKadosh. Let's see what he is saying there. Regardons ce qu'il dit là-bas. One second. Here is my screen. Voici mon écran. So do you see it's okay? Vous voyez, c'est bon?
Oui, c'est bon.
Toda Rabba Bishon. Il sait, Shar HaKavanot, Inyan Tisha B'Av, but also Drushe Rosh Hashanah. So on the chapters of Rosh Hashanah, sur les Drushim de Rosh Hashanah. It is Inyan HaSelikhot Shel Bnei Sfarad Be'ashmorat Aboker. So he said, remember that Ari HaKadosh is Rabbi Yitzchak Luriab Ashkenazi. So his father is Ashkenazi, right? Son père, il est Ashkenaz. But he grew up in Egypt, in the Sephardi world. Donc, il est Ashkenaz par son père, mais il a grandi en Égypte, qui est un monde séfarade. So look what he's saying. He said to his student, Rabbi Chaim Vital, il dit à son étudiant, Inyan Selikhot of Bnei Sfarad. So he said, look, let me give to you my position about the Selikhot that the Sfaradim are doing, the way they are doing it. Il fait, regardez, je vous donne ma position par rapport au Selikhot de la manière dont les Sefaradim le font. So meaning, we have an Ashkenazi telling you the position of an Ashkenazi toward one minhag that the Sfaradim are keeping in a different way compared to the Ashkenazim. Donc on a un posek, un gadolador Ashkenaz qui te dit comment je vais me positionner par rapport à un minhag que les Sfaradim gardent différemment. Il dit, look what he said. He said, Bnei Sfarad be'ashmorat aboker, lel, chodesh, elul. So he said, look, he said, you have to know that the Sfaradim, they are used to keep the Selikhot be'ashmorat aboker, meaning very early in the morning. Très tôt, ils gardent le Selikhot très tôt le matin. Ça veut dire quoi? Que pour les Mekoubalim, pour les sages du Sod, Selikhot se fait tôt le matin, avant la prière de Shacharit, qui en général se fait à l'heure du Netz. So c'est basically, you have to know that the Selikhot, according to the Olam Sfarad and according to the Mekoubalim, the sage of Sod, it's something which should be done very early in the morning before the prayer of Shacharit. So he said like this, Aboker lel chodesh elul. So here, you see, there's a machloket bit. Il dit, il y a une machloket ici, I'll show to you. Because you see here, it's written lel. Vous voyez ici, c'est écrit lel. What is lel? Lel basically is the first part of the night. The first part of the night, meaning from when the stars goes out till Chatzot HaLayla, the midnight, and after from Chatzot HaLayla till the morning, it's called Layla. Donc je vais vous donner un petit minhag aussi que les gens ont mal compris. It's a minhag that people misunderstood, but let me explain to you. L'aile, it's what I said. Donc l'aile, c'est quoi? Quand on dit l'aile ici, c'est la première partie de la nuit, celle qui est reliée depuis le sortie des étoiles jusqu'à Chatzot HaLayla, qui est la moitié de la nuit. Et la partie qui est de la moitié de la nuit jusqu'au matin, on appelle ça Layla. For example, l'aile Pessah, you know that you finish to pray Arvit, you go back home and you start to read all the Haggadah. It's l'aile Pessah because it's the first part of the night. Par exemple, l'aile Pessah, vous savez que vous commencez, vous finissez la prière du soir, vous rentrez à la maison, vous commencez à étudier les Haggadot, la Haggadah de Pessah. Pourquoi? Parce que c'est la première partie de la nuit qui s'appelle l'aile. And now see what's happened nowadays. Regardez ce qui se passe de nos jours. We have millions of Jews, they decide to do the Selikhot after midnight. They wait for Chatzot, they go to the Kotel, they go to the Beit Knesset, and they do the Selikhot. So this is a mistake. Why? Because here, when it's talk about the night, it's just to take about the fact that Selikhot should not be done when it's day. Selikhot should be done at the moment, a specific moment, when we still see darkness. That's why I use the word lel. But it's not to tell you that you should be doing it at night. Why? Because he said you have to do it early in the morning. The concept here of lel, it's not to give you a time of slichot. Le concept de lel ici, c'est pas pour te donner un temps de slichot. C'est pour te dire que les slichot doivent être faits dans un moment où il fait encore nuit. Because if Akadosh wanted to tell you, you have to do it at night, he will have said Laila here. And why? Because it's the moment when you're allowed to start to say Teilim and other prayers, meaning after Chatzot. But it's not talking about Laila. Il ne parle pas de Laila ici. It is just Lel, Chodesh, Elul. It's basically the concept of nights in the month of Elul. So just to correct people, according to the Nusakh Afriki, I don't say the answer yet, but let's say according to us, if you keep Selikhot, you will have to do it in the morning before Shacharit. Donc pour nous, si vous faites le Selikhot, vous devez les garder vous devez les faire le matin avant Shacharit. And he said, Ad Yom Kippur, till Yom Kippur, 40 days, 40 jours. Ve'ehid li Arav Cohen Sagis. So he said, we have one student among the group which was studying with Ari, Akadosh. On a un groupe qui étudie avec le Akadosh qui dit comme ça. Chez où Ra'a le Morizal, chez Aya Omer Mila ben Mila Imatibur. Oh. This rabbi said he saw Akadosh saying the Selikhot 40 days, word after word with the Tibur, with the public. So what does it mean? It means that Hakadosh was keeping the Selikhot according to the Sfaradim, Ashkenaz, Sfaradim, Minag. Donc il dit, moi j'ai vu le Hakadosh faire les Selikhot mot à mot avec tout le public. Donc ça veut dire quoi? Que le Hakadosh qui était un posek d'origine Ashkenaz te dit que sa manière de garder les Selikhot, c'est comme les Sfaradim. So now, we have a problem. On a un problème. Not a problem, it's a good problem. My question for you now, rabbis. The Sod is telling you that you have to keep the Selikhot and you have to do it in the morning. Le Sod te dit que tu dois garder les Selikhot, tu dois le faire le matin avant la prière de Shacharit. So now, what do you say? Do you do it, give it, or propose it to your minyanim in the Nusakh Afriki? Maintenant que vous avez vu ça, vous avez lu ça, que faites-vous? Vous le proposez, vous le dites, et vous le montrez ou vous l'enseignez par rapport aux gens qui gardent le Nusakh Afriki, or not, ou pas? I'm listening to you. Any answer?
Would you please repeat the question one more time, please? I'm in the hospital here. I couldn't hear well. I have air conditioning in my head. I'm sorry.
No problem, no problem. Refoua shelema to your parents. Refoua shelema.
Amen.
Now, my question is, based on what we have just seen, Nusakh Afriki, what do you say to your student? Selikhot, we do or we don't do? Hakadosh just proved that, look, I was doing according to the Sfaradic way. Hakadosh is the master of Kabbalah, the master of Sod, the filter we use to understand our Mishnah. So what do you say to your students? Selikhot, you keep or you don't keep? And if you keep as like the Sod, so like Sfaradim. So what do you say? Qu'est-ce que vous dites?
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
I would teach accordingly what the sage says, the observations done, like you did.
Mm-hmm.
And as a leader, if I'm building a small community and it's still new to them, I'll try to accommodate, but I still teach that the correct way is early, before sun up, before Sharit early. I'll teach that, but I will try to still exercise so the community would apply Selikhot.
Okay. So you will keep them according to the Sfaradi Nusakh, right? Like it's written in the Kitvari.
I would give a concept for Sfardim, but teach both ways. But because I don't know what the problems I'll be dealing with the culture, the local culture. So we still figure out a way to expose them to that, but I'll still teach the correct way. Okay. I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
I understand, but I don't have my answer. My question is like this. They want to know, most of the students, even if you teach them, they want to do like you. This is something that we have to know. Most of the students, you teach, there's no problem, but at the end of the day, they will do like you do. So what do you do, Rabbi Moshe Yitro? How do you
I'll
do?
do according to Sephardim early, before Saharit.
So
I would be the example, doing anyway, if I'm doing by myself.
you will start on the after Rosh Chodesh Elul.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other answer? Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres réponses?
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom,
Ah,
shalom.
yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yes. Rabbi.
Sorry. It's not an answer, but and we needed to give an answer. Arya Kadosh is one of the pillars we follow, or which minhag we follow.
Yeah.
And he's the one who is telling us, no, they were not doing it right. So, and to go to, and we know that another aspect, we know that we do not have the stain of the golden calf.
So we start something interesting here. Yes.
And from the incident from which the Selikhot is rooted from. So to go contrary to what Arya Kadosh taught on Selikhot, I do not know where to strike the balance between me following the minhag of Arya Kadosh, and on the other hand, there is something which he said is not done properly, and is what I'm following. So I've got a difficulty to strike a balance, but I rather wait for my master, Chief Rabbi, to guide me.
No problem. I have all the answer, but I want to build them with you, because it's very deep, and I want the student all over the world to follow us and to understand how we structure things and how the wisdom should be used. Bezrat Hashem. Rabbi Shai?
Oh, toda Rabba. J'allais parler justement de ce qu'avait dit Rabbi El Nathan sur le faute de Gel Hazahav, qui ne tient pas sur les convertis, et sur par rapport à la direction de Nusakh Afriki aussi, sur le Torah Aleph. Du coup, je suis en train de feuilleter, mais je ne trouve pas encore. Terat Hakane, Sefer Hakane, pardon. Et il y a l'Inyan de Yom Kippour, que Rabbi Nechina Ben Hakane est en train de développe un tout petit peu, enfin beaucoup même, pardon. Mais je ne trouve pas de Selikhot pour le moment. Alors, est-ce que, j'aurais dit, est-ce que s'il n'en parle pas, est-ce qu'à ce niveau-là, voilà, je dirais que parce qu'il n'y a pas de la faute de Vaudor, est-ce qu'il faut le dire?
Ah oui, we study. When we study, we can. Quand on étudie, on pose des questions. On n'a pas encore donné de sac, on n'a pas encore donné de décision. Donc, on est dans la construction. We are building, so we can't say bring question on the table.
Donc, du coup, dans la construction, je dirais que Nusakh Afriki n'aurait pas de Selikhot, mais il y aurait peut-être une forme, parce que c'est inclus, le Torah Taref inclut la Torah de bête, mais ce ne serait pas dans la même nature que ce que fait la Torah de bête. Voilà.
Rabbi Ishai he said the same thing like Rabbi El Nathan. He said, okay, we understand that there is a question here of there's the origin of that minhag, and we know what is our origin also. Basically, some of us are convert, some of us, we know, like it was written in Rabbi Nechunia's book, that to convert, we don't have the impurity of golden calf on our soul. That's why we deserve to receive 40 at a time. You have to love the gear. Donc en fait, premier élément d'analyse, on sait que nous, les convertis, par exemple, on n'a pas d'impureté du veau d'or sur notre âme. C'est Rabbi Nichounia qui le rapporte dans Torah Takane sur la halakha de tu dois aimer le converti, qui est rapporté plus de 48 fois dans toute la Torah. Donc, la question maintenant, c'est de savoir quelle est notre posture. Comment on fait? So the first question that you have to understand as student, as rabbis, as representative, la première question que vous devez savoir, que vous devez vous demander en tant qu'étudiant, en tant que représentant, c'est do we have African Jews who are going to be under the Nusakh Afriki who are related or not to the impurity of golden calf? If the question is yes, no choice, we have to put the Selikhot. If the question is no, we have to know what to do to stay united with all the people. Donc la question elle est comme ça. À partir du moment où on sait que il peut y avoir des Africains qui sont liés à la faute du veau d'or, basé sur cette logique-là, on doit comprendre qu'en fait, oui, il faut installer les slichot, parce que cette faute-là, c'est ce qui entraîne ce moment-là. Mais s'il y en a certains qui ne savent pas, alors là, il y a une autre analyse qu'il faudra voir et qu'on analysera comment on va faire. So my question is, my first statement is, mon premier point, il est comme ça. How many roots of Africans or Jews or of Judaism in Africa do we have? Combien de racines dans la juive en Afrique, combien d'histoires juives en Afrique on peut avoir? We can count them, we can count a few. We have, let's say, the first generation that we can say come with the conversion done by Yosef, by Yaakov, and also with the 40 years that Moshe used to be king on the land of Cush. This brought a first group of, let's say, Judaism in Africa. It's the more ancient. C'est le groupe le plus ancien. Ils sont venus en fait avec les conversions que Yosef avait faites, que Yaakov avait faites en terre d'Égypte, et même pendant les 40 ans où Moshe avait été roi en terre de Cush. C'est le premier groupe. The second group, the deuxième groupe, is related to the
Shalom, Rabbi, can you hear me now?
Shalom Rabbi Kish. Yes, we can hear you now. Now it's good.
Thank you. I've been struggling since morning. I don't know what is wrong.
Welcome back in the land of technology.
Yeah, I have to put off my phone and start it on again and refresh everything.
Bezrat Hashem, I hope you have heard some things we have said, or we need to repeat a bit.
I had, but I need to follow up. So if I don't catch it, I can ask questions.
Okay, no problem. So the first group of people being related to the Judaism in Africa is with Yaakov, Yosef, and Moshe being king on the land of Africa. The second group, the same group, we can call them the 4/5. On peut appeler les 4/5. The 4/5 who said that we didn't went out with the Bnei Israël who went out with Moshe. C'est ces 4/5 là qui disent non, on n'est pas sorti avec les 1/5 qui étaient avec Moshe. It's written in Raya Memna Pinchas in Zohar HaKadosh, and it's also explained very deeply in the Haftarah Shoftim. You read there the Haftarah Shoftim, you will see that we are talking about a group of Yehudim being enslaved by the Assyrian in the land of Egypt. So it's not the 1/5. Pour savoir c'est quoi ce deuxième groupe qui est lié au 4/5, il y a bien sûr le Zohar Raya Memna Pinchas, où Rabbi Shimon parle de ces 4/5 là, mais il y a aussi la Haftarah de Parashat Shoftim, où le prophète Ishayahu, il parle justement des Yehudim qui se retrouvent esclavagisés et maltraités sur toute une longue période d'histoire à partir des Assyriens en Égypte, ce qui n'est totalement pas lié à l'histoire des Yehudim. So this part of the Yehudim, also they said they went up to the Eretz Canaan, we went down to the land of Cush, to the Eretz Congo. Ok, c'est 4/5. Ils disent non, eux ils sont partis en haut vers le terre de Canaan, nous on est partis en bas. Second group. Third group, it's about when the tribes were divided. 2 tribes versus 10 tribes. And the 10 tribes, Mar Zutra said they went to Africa. This is the third group. And maybe fourth group, we can say the converts from every generation who are from African roots and decided to embrace Judaism by their own will. Et le quatrième groupe, peut-être, on peut dire, c'est les convertis de toutes les générations qui sont d'origine africaine, qui vivent sur les terres africaines et qui ont décidé d'embrasser le judaïsme de manière totalement indépendante. So we have here the proof that Judaism...
Rabbi, can you help me? Can you help me and say the groups again? This is very important. The groups, so I don't miss anything in the groups, please.
Yes.
I didn't understand the first one. Maybe I missed that, please.
So the question basically we have is like this. What should be the psak we should perform as the chief rabbinate of Africa about Selikhot? Do we start them after the Rosh Chodesh Elul like the Sfaradim, or do we do 10 days between Rosh Chodesh Tishri till Kippur like the Ashkenazim? And if not, if yes, if this is the case of yes, or if not, what do we do if we know what is the roots of that minag? The roots of that minag being the fact that the golden calf have been made after the reception of the first luchot. So that golden calf being made, Rabbi Nechunya, the Tana, came and said, look, I want to tell you something. The convert have no impurity of the golden calf in his soul. Why? Because he wasn't there. So based on that, he deserved the 48th time that you should love him. That's why he deserves it and you don't deserve it. And that's why it's in the Midrash that the convert of all the generation are higher than the generation who saw the first luchot in the Mount Sinai. So now the question is, what do we do as psak? Do we do the slichot or do we don't do the slichot? And if we do the slichot, how do we do? The second question we have been answered already. We do according to the minagim of Sod. Why? Because Arya Kadosh from Ashkenazi roots was performing them according to the Sephardi minag. Meaning, in the way to fix that impurity, something is more nachon, more right, more well done when you start to do it from after Rosh Chodesh Elul till Yom Kippur. But we still don't have the answer about the second part, which is, what do we do as Bnei Afriki? And based on that, we have to go slowly. We have to see basically what are the different generations, different type of Jewish history in the country in the countries and the continent of Africa. So we can source them. The first one is the generation of Yosef and Yaakov converting people in the land of Egypt that people received directly from them, and that basically they have a story which is not related at all to the golden calf. The second generation the second group is basically the one who said, we are from the 4/5. We didn't went out with Moshe, we stood in Egypt. And if you think that it's a fake story, just go in two sources. You go in Zohar, Raya Memna Pinchas, and also you study the Haftarah of the Parashat Shoftim. That Haftarah tells you that Hashem said, I send my people to be enslaved in Egypt, and for nothing Ashur made their life worst. So we understand that the prophet Ishayahu is talking about a group which is not related to Moshe at all. We do have Hashem telling you, my people have been sent in Egypt, and he's telling you, Ashur made their life worse in the land of Egypt. And we saw it about the 4/5 who stood. Ashur will come and create all the slave trade. Look at this Haftarah, you will understand that story of some of our ancestors telling that they are from the 4/5 is not fake. It's written in your Haftarah of Parashat Shoftim. Not only that, we have another group, another story which brings Judaism in the countries of Africa. It is the story of the 10 tribes and the 2 tribes divided. Mar Zutra will say there will be 10 tribes going to the land of Afriki. And the 4th group, it's basically all the converts of all the generation. they are from African roots, and they decided by themselves to get and to go through conversion and to make Judaism their own spirituality. So based on that, we are 4 groups with 4 different roots and 4 different type of relationship in Africa. So when we are Chief Rabbinate, we have to take in consideration all these aspects and not to go fast in the Psak, to understand what is all the aspects. So do you get it, Rabbi Kish?
Rabbi, I get it. And it's very important to get the basics so that you understand the decisions.
Yes, exactly. So just 1 second, I want to fix something in the camera. 1 second. 1 second. Don't move. Just to put a bit light. Sorry, let me know if you can see me now. You see me? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like this. So based on that, you have to know that, yes, we do have a problem. Because our psak, we have to respect all the different histories of all the different tribes which have Jewish and Hebrew roots. Donc, c'est-à-dire quoi? Notre psak doit respecter toutes les différentes histoires de ces tribus qui ont des racines juives. So, for example, if the Igbos, you know you are from Gad, from Dan, from Ephraim, right?
Yes, Rabbi.
So if you are from that tribes, and you know that you say that your migrations on the area come from the division of the 2 tribes and the 10 tribes. So for sure, there's no question for you. You have to keep the Selikhot. Why? Because in your history, you went out with the 1/5 with Moshe, and you stood with there. And when the situation was divided, you follow Yerovam and all the follow kings. So it seems to be logical to say that you have to keep. But if I find someone who is from the Congo tribe, say, no, we know that we came from the moment that Moshe was king 40 years. So don't be surprised if we tell you, I don't feel connected at all with the Selikhot because I don't have in my soul anything about that impurity. Donc en fait, la question est comme ça. Il faut connaître les histoires de chaque tribu. Si on sait qu'il y a une tribu qui dit non, nous on sait qu'on vient du schisme entre les 2 tribus et les 10 tribus. Et qu'on est venu avec les 10 tribus avec le roi d'Ephraïm. À ce moment-là, vous savez que les Selikhot, c'est un devoir pour vous. Pourquoi? Parce que vous venez d'une génération qui est sortie 1/5 d'Égypte avec Moshe et que vous avez sûrement vécu toutes ces choses-là et que les Selikhot, c'est votre histoire. Mais si de l'autre côté, vous avez des personnes qui peuvent être du Congo ou de Madagascar, qui disent non, moi, on trace notre origine connexion à la Torah, soit aux 40 ans de règne de Moshe, soit au fait qu'il y ait eu une conversion massive qui s'est faite, ou soit au fait qu'on est venu avec l'époque de Yosef qui est venu convertir. Qu'ils ne se sentent pas connectés au Selikhot, c'est aussi normal. So this is the first level of understanding. We didn't start to study yet. I'm just building the frame with you.
Rabbi, can I say something, please?
Yeah.
You see, the Igbos, they have about 3, 4, 5 waves of migration. The first Igbos that came here, like I've known from old, they didn't go to Mount Sinai. They are a part of the 4/5, because Igbo, my people, we can argue so much, we don't believe things easily. The Igbos who left, when Moshe came and was telling them that they should migrate, the Igbos that left, they were seeing Moshe as part of Pharaoh. You live in Pharaoh's house for 40 years and you grew up in Pharaoh's house. All of a sudden you came now to tell us Hashem sent you as Messiah. How do we believe you're not working for Pharaoh? So the 4/5, they didn't believe him. And the part of Igbo that left first, and they left when they came down, then when there was the trouble of the 10 tribes, when they had trouble now, they had to go and look for their first brothers who left, who hadn't come back, but they know they're somewhere in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa. They came to look for them them to have some respite with them. So other people came afterwards. There are people who came from Ghana, from an area of Mali. So there are about 4 or 5 waves. So we are mixed here. Some did not see Sinai, some saw Sinai, and so on.
Exactly. Toda Rabba Rabba, Chief Rabbi Kish, because this is the reality that you have to face and we have to face. We should be very, very sage, wise when we do Upsak. And we have to build what we call in our community tolerance. Why? Because, like you said, for example, just the Igbo, all the 4 waves, they are inside. So we should know that people, if they can trace their roots, it's perfect. Like this, the psak can be easily done, and I will explain to you something in a few minutes. If they cannot trace, we have to work with the mindset of being in a kind of solidarity. C'est-à-dire que à partir du moment où, même pour les Igbo, on voit qu'il y a les 4 migrations, elles sont dedans. Donc, on ne peut pas aujourd'hui, on doit savoir que le mot-clé, c'est tolérance et unité. Parce que si quelqu'un est méconnaissant de son origine, il ne peut pas aujourd'hui prendre le risque de ne pas garder une mitzvah. If someone don't know his roots, he cannot take a risk not to keep his mitzvah. You have to do the mitzvah, except if you really know your history. Say, my grandfather tell me from that we are from the 4/5. Okay, there's no problem. Si quelqu'un dit non, moi je sais que mon grand-père, on est à propos des 4/5e, which is basically let's say 90% of the Congos. 90% des Congos, des Bukongo, des Bana-Congo from the southwest Congo, they are from that 4/5, and some of them, they are from the Yosef and Paro. We have books, we have tales telling us about that. On a des livres, on a des histoires qui nous racontent que non, nous les Congos, on vient majoritairement de la période Yosef et la période qui est des 4/5e et même la période des 40 ans de Moshe, because Kush was Congo, like we said many times. And even some people say, no, we come from the 40 years of Moshe being kings. So we are from a period which is before that golden calf. So the main question is golden calf, where are you standing with that history? La question principale, c'est le veau d'or, où vous vous tenez par rapport à ça. So all these elements is just to show to you how it's complicated to know and to build a psak on this question of Selikhot. But we're going to have the answer in a few minutes. Tout ça, c'est pour vous montrer comment c'est compliqué en fait de construire un psak sur cette histoire de Selikhot. Mais on va avoir une réponse maintenant dans quelques minutes. To have that answer, we have to turn our eyes on another text. The text basically...
Rabbi.
Yes?
I'm sorry, just a comment. So I was enlightened right now. So that speaks on the wisdom that Hashem gave you, or even the choices of leadership in the region, the correct ones for the particular, because with that knowledge, the leaders, about the chief rabbis, are able to have a better understanding and tolerance. Without that knowledge, he would never have the tolerance or with the community to understand that and even have a connection with the community, which can lead to a lot of lack of understand of direction where we are going. I would just want to commend you for the as I look who you appointed to be the region. I see the wisdom behind that now. Thank you.
Toda Rabba, Rabbi Moshe. Toda Rabba. We are here for that, and all of us as representative of the chief rabbinate, we have to show that when we will be sitting in a table with all the Gdoleador from the other Nusachim, Ashkenazim, Sfaradim, they will be fearing us because we have to be a master of details, techniques. We all do in Torah and we go till the end with you because we know that everything is Torah is based on wisdom. There's no place for emotions. There's no place for bad feelings. There's only place for wisdom and midot tovot. So our wisdom should be building like never. And we're going to prove that we empower and make great all that heritage that we receive from the Talmidei Chachamim. So let's see another question. On va voir un autre point. Rabbi Ishai, Chief Rabbi of Madagascar, said something very important. He said, we know that we have a history about the 3 months that were given to Esav. And that 3 months, basically, they are for him, but Yaakov took one of that month. And let's read it in the Chokhmah of our sage. On va lire cette histoire dans la Chokhmah de nos sages par rapport aux 3 mois qui étaient à Esav et que Yaakov lui a repris 1 mois. It's in the, we can read it from the Ben Ishchai introduction about the Tisha B'Av. On peut le lire dans les introductions du Ben Ishchai à propos de Tisha B'Av. So let's take this information, which is very important also, qui est aussi très, très important. So look, regardez, it's from here. Here is... Oui.
Oui. Du coup, j'aurais aussi une question. Et si par rapport au Nusakh Afriki, du coup, on fait les conversions à partir du moment qu'il y a une conversion à Pi Nusakh Afriki, est-ce que ça enlève le faute, ou par exemple pour les tribus qui ont eu le faute du veau d'or, oui. Est-ce que ça enlève à partir du moment où il y a une conversion et qu'à ce moment-là, la personne n'est plus sous cette toubade-là de Daraba? Ça
va enlever. C'est la conclusion que je vais faire. Mais j'amène les gens petit à petit pour qu'ils comprennent en fait que les positions à l'arrêt qu'on a, elles incluent et elles donnent des possibilités autres selon le choix qui est fait. Mais là, il faut en fait faire asseoir le dossier pour qu'ils voient la lourdeur de réclamer ou de se réclamer de telle ou telle histoire. Mais tu as compris là où je vais aller, Bezrat Hashem.
Toda Rabba.
So look what he say, Rabbi Ben Ishchai here. He said, "V'zeh she'amar, atem ovrim b'gvul achichem b'nei Esav." Say, you are passing, overing the borders of your brothers, the son of Esav. This moment is very important in this Limud. Please be focused. Ce moment-là, il est très important dans les Limud. Soyez focusés parce que de là, on va construire un pan qui va vous surprendre. Because from that text, we're going to build a whole frame which will be a big surprise for you. So I said Pirush. So there's a pasuk in Dvarim Bet, pasuk Dalet He. Là-bas, dans Dvarim 2, pasuk 4-5, Hashem said to Moshe, say to all the people, you are othering the borders of the lands of the son of Esav. Don't take a single thing. Donc il dit, vous passez là-bas la frontière de vos frères, des enfants de vos frères, du frère Esav, ne prenez rien. So look what the way the sage brought a pirouche. Regardez comment les sages ont construit l'explication. Pirouche, gam le et ata atem lo krim et elul, sheaya techilato chelek Esav. So he said, look, Ben Ishchai say here in the first paragraph, il dit ici dans le premier paragraphe, he said, look, when we talk about the borders of your brother Esav, it's not only the physical borders, but also the spiritual borders. Il dit, quand on parle ici des frontières de vos frères Esav, on ne parle pas simplement des frontières physiques, on parle aussi des frontières spirituelles. When we talk about spiritual borders, this is the timeline, or the time, the month. Quand on parle de frontières spirituelles, on parle quoi en fait de temps? On parle des mois. So he said that borders, that spiritual borders, it is Tammuz, Av, and Elul. Ces bordures spirituelles, c'est Tammuz, Av et Elul. He said, what did your father Yaakov? Qu'est-ce qu'il avait de votre père Yaakov? He took away from him the region of Elul, the spiritual region of Elul, which is originally inside of the borders of Esav. Qu'est-ce qu'il a fait votre père Yaakov? il a pris de lui le mois de Elul qui appartenait à sa zone spirituelle, à Esav. So he said, look, I will read here for me, it's better. Here, this is more detail. It's better. Nirali בסייעתא דשמיא, על פי הקדמה ידוע שכתבו המפרשים בשם חז"ל. So he said, it's from the חכמינו זיכרונם לברכה, c'est nos חכמים qui ont dit ça. De Yaakov Avinu עליו השלום לקח חלקו ניסן יar Sivan. C'est the boundaries, the borders of the sons of Yaakov. Zera Yaakov, its spiritual borders, Nisan, Yar, Sivan. Donc, ceux qui sont du Zera Yaakov, c'est quoi votre territoire spirituel? C'est Nisan, Yar, Sivan. That's why in the Nusakh Afriki, this is the month where we work the most. We build all the concept of, first of all, Pesach Sheni with a whole Nusakh, with a whole Seder. And we say even that after, from Pesach Sheni to 50 days after, we can think about kind of Shavuot Sheni. We are in that time, which is where we build all our power, all our strength in terms of spirituality. So if you are Zera Yaakov, this is the 3 months where you are home. Donc, si tu es un enfant de Yaakov, tu es un descendant de Yaakov, ces 3 mois-là, c'est les 3 mois où tu es à la maison. Pourquoi? C'est pour ça, dans le Nusakh Afriki, on a beaucoup de choses qui sont faites pendant ces 3 mois-là. Non simplement, on a fait un Pesach Sheni en bonne et due forme, et même 50 jours après, on a compris qu'il y a un concept même de Shavuot Sheni. Et tout ça, on a introduit la dimension de Pirkei Shira, on a introduit la dimension de finir tout le Sefer HaMishnayot. In that timeline, we even brought the concept of reading the Pirkei Shira in front of the Pirkei Avot. And also to understand that you have to finish all the Mishnayot in that timeline. This is what the Nusakh Afriki has done. This is why we can stand today as the chief rabbinate. Because we took all the power in that 3 months. It's home. Si aujourd'hui on se tient comme un rabbinat central, parce que ces 3 mois-là, on a fait des choses qui étaient oubliées, mais qui étaient écrites et que personne n'a fait. We did things which were forgotten, but were written, and nobody performed them like we performed this year. Personne ne les a fait. So look what they said. They, Esav, so what is the spiritual area of Esav? C'est quoi la zone spirituelle de Esav? It's written Tammuz, Av et Elul. C'est le mois de Tammuz, de Av et de Elul. But what is Elul? This is the month where you and me with the Selikhot. C'est le mois où toi et moi on fait Selikhot. But look. Nitgaber Yaakov Avinu alav shalom vechataf mimeno et Elul. So understand what is the word chataf. Who can explain to me what is the meaning of the word chataf? Qui peut m'expliquer c'est quoi la signification du mot chataf? Il sait Yaakov become stronger. Yaakov est devenu plus fort. Et qu'est-ce qu'il a fait? What did he do? Chataf Elul from the hands of Esav. Il a été Mechotef, il a été Chataf, le mois de Elul de Esav. So who can explain to me what this means? Chataf, what do you understand? What does Chataf mean?
I think he took off.
It took off. Sorry. Okay, say it took off. We have another explanation. Qui a une autre explication? Or you agree with
Shalom, shalom, harav.
Shalom, shalom, Abel Oshimidia.
I would say that was the time of the battle.
Yeah.
The battle with the spirit of Esav, and he took something from him. That was the blessing, the time of the blessing.
Yes. You both are right. Vous avez tous les deux raison. The good translation can be to grab. Genre, il a pris, il a arraché. Even that word can be used to translate the word kidnap. Kidnapping. Kidnap is khataf. Ça veut même dire kidnapper. So what does it mean? You see, there's something strange here. Il y a quelque chose de très, très bizarre ici. Let me remind you one halakha. Je vous rappelle une halakha. We know that from the moment Moshe made the division about the tribes and the lands, even if you sell your land, every 7 years, the year of Shemitah, you go back on your former properties. You know that halakha, right?
Yes, Rabbi. Yes, Rabbi.
Donc, on connaît tous l'halakha que quand Moshe a divisé les terres et les tribus, chaque possession que chaque tribu, chacun avait, chaque famille avait, même s'il la vend, au bout de 7 ans de chaque Shemitah, qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Il a le droit de récupérer ce qui lui était. So my question for you, ma question pour vous. This is Esav area, right? So at the end of the day, when it's Shemitah, is not Esav in the right to ask back is that month? My question, c'est ma question. Si c'est sa propriété, it's written, it was given to him. C'est écrit que ça a été donné pour lui. He received it like heritage given by Hashem. Il a reçu ça comme un héritage donné à Dieu. And Yaakov khataf it. Et Yaakov, il a pris, took it over. Il a pris ça. So now we know, we have halacha about heritage. It is your land, even if you sell it, after 7 years, Shemitah, you become again your property. You take your property again back. Even if we have many halachot inside about if he's a slave, but let's make it simple. Même s'il y a plein d'halachot dedans, si c'est un esclave ou pas, mais, et qui veut rester esclave, mais faisons ça simple. Meaning, we have in that month something that we took, but which is not from us exactly. And we know that Esav can claim that month every time, especially every 7 years. Donc on sait qu'Esav, il a un droit de dire, il me l'a pris, mais c'est à moi, tu l'as donné à moi en tant qu'héritage. Donc je vais le reprendre. So look now, Nid Gaber, that it's never a good sign. Yaakov becomes stronger. And Chataf alav imenu et Elul, Venishar beyado Tammuz and Av, Bilvad. And Esav kept only Tammuz and Av only. Velachar, il a gardé que seulement Tammuz et Av. Velachar, shalat ba'em bezman achorban ara le Israel ba'em. So he said that's why the baddest things happened to Israel on Elul and on Tammuz and Av. Et c'est pour ça que les pires choses se passent pour Israël à Tammuz et Av. Why? Because the bitterness of having lost a part of the area. Pourquoi les pires choses se passent entre Tammuz et Av? Parce qu'il y a une amertume chez les Bnei Esav d'avoir perdu cette zone-là qui était à eux. You have to understand why that month are very particular. It's not only because we are mocking the sage, not only because we did sinatrinam. C'est pas parce que seulement on s'est moqué des sages ou qu'on a fait de la haine gratuite. It's the origin is because that in the spirituality, Esav say, look, they took my heritage. Ils ont pris mon héritage. So the 2 months where I'm still the leader, I will make them suffer. Donc les 2 mois où je suis toujours le leader, qui m'ont pas pris, je vais les faire souffrir. Look now. Leatid, gam shtam elu yikru mimeno, veishletu ba'em Israel, sheyu shnei chodashim elu, yamim tovim. So he said, look, it's strange. Say, don't worry. Even the 2 last months, we will succeed to get it from them. So what are we doing? We are taking something from the heritage. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? On déshérite les gens? What's happened? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? I will help you to go deeper. Now we start to study seriously. Là, on commence vraiment à étudier sérieusement. What's happened here is like this. We know all the story about the Canaanim. On connaît l'histoire à propos des Cananéens. They had the land, but at the same time, they did what is worst in the eyes of Hashem. And based on that, the heritage was removed from their hand and given to the Bnei Israël. On connaît par exemple l'histoire des Cananéens. Ils étaient les propriétaires de la terre de Canaan. Mais ils ont fait ce qui est mauvais aux yeux d'Akadosh Baruch Hu. Et à cause de ça, on leur a enlevé la propriété et ça a été donné au Bnei Yaakov, au Bnei Israël. And meaning, heritage, it's your heritage. But when you start to basically disrespect what you receive, and you can even not keep it properly and respecting the holiness of what was given to you, your heritage is no more standing because you are making it worse. Donc, la notion d'héritage, elle s'envole à partir du moment où les conditions du don ne sont pas respectées. Meaning that the heritage, the aspect of heritage is removed from the moment when the conditions of that donation, of that heritage are not respected. That's why we can get Elul. And we're going to have Tammuz and Av after. But the question is, la question elle est, when we got this, for sure we have to do things every year in order not to be shown like, look, they took away from us that area, but they are doing worse than us. So give it to us back, Hashem. That's what Esav can say if we don't do Selikhot all the month, for example. Donc il dit quoi? Je donne un exemple. Il dit, si jamais on n'est pas performant dans un mois qui est disputé comme ça, qu'est-ce qu'il peut dire Esav? Il dit, regarde, Hachem, ils ont pris ce mois-là, mais ce qu'ils y font, c'est pire que ce que nous faisions, il n'y a aucune différence. À partir du moment où ils ne font pas mieux que nous sur ce mois-là, pourquoi nous le prendre? Rends-le nous. From the moment when they are not doing better than us on that month, why you remove it from us? Why? Let us get our heritage back. This is also one of the other information you have to include in the analysis of Elul. So now let's go deeper. Maintenant, allons plus en profondeur. And see something.
Shalom, shalom, Rabbi.
Shalom, Rabbi, Chief Rabbi Kish.
I'm sorry, interjecting. In the course of my research and study, I want to know if we all on the same thing about the Esav, descendants of Esav. In my study, the descendants of Esav are not white people. They are black people as well. Mm-hmm. Because from the book of Wisdom, the mother of Abraham Avinu is a Cushite, mm-hmm. married to the father of Abraham Avinu, Terah, and Abraham Avinu is from Shemite, the Terah is from Shem, the mother is from Cush. So mm-hmm. the first crossbreed ever they had in the world was Abraham Avinu. Mm-hmm. The mother is Cushite, from around Egypt, Kenya axis. Then the father, Terah, is from Shem. Mm-hmm. And the color of Shem people, not like white people today, the color is like an African man who is fair in complexion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then they mix together, but the hair is somehow like Filipino hair. They mix together. Abraham was the first Negro. Mm-hmm. The Egyptians, the Kenyans are not called Negro. Mm-hmm. The Negro are people in West Africa, Congo. Those are the Negroes. Mm-hmm. The Negroes are different from black people, but sometimes we mix them together. See you, I know you're a Negro. You're not a black man. You're yes. a Negro. Yes. If you go to America, you want to fill form, they will tell you, you cannot feel you are a Negro. The Egyptians cannot say they are Negroes. Mm-hmm. Neither is the Ethiopians. Mm-hmm. People don't know this. So now, when they gave birth to Abraham Avinu married from the mother's place. Isaac was a black man. Mm-hmm. Isaac now married from the wife's place, the mother's place. Avinu, Yaakov, and Esav were black boys. Mm-hmm. No white blood in them. Then Yaakov looked a bit more like you and me. Then Esav, there are people in my place who they are a bit brownish, look like their hair is. That's how Esav looked. It doesn't look like these Romans or whatever they tell us in the stories. Those are the stories we must have to debunk and dispel. Mm-hmm. So Esav look more like me and you, but maybe from a different shade of black, and he mixed everywhere with all of us. So today, Esav can be in Congo, can be in Igbo, can be everywhere, but now maybe they are part of us doing this thing now, we don't know. And I believe they are. So again, the land Esav will have, maybe through this tradition, he has gotten back to inherit it through the Emunah. So that's what I wanted to look at, to know that Esav is not the white people like we used to think. Shalom, Rabbi.
Shalom, shalom. You know, Rabbi Chief Kish, you put the finger on the most essential point why we need a chief rabbinate handled by our own, and telling the real history of our ancestors, of our brothers who have been sent in slavery. And many people don't understand the differences that you have just made. And my work all these last years was to show to the people that we know who we are, and that the Kushi, the one when you hear that term in Hebrew, Kushite, you know that it's telling to you nigger. That's why even in my speech of serving in ceremony, I use that word. I said they call us Negre, Negro, Nigger, Kushi, because we represent something. Many people, when you start to talk like that, they straight put you on the frame of you are a complotist, or you are someone who try to say that everything is black. No. That's why all my work all these last 5 years was to find the references in the Ketuvim of our masters, of our sage, to show that we are right when we say what you have just said. What you said about Esav, you are 1000% right. You just have to know how to bring that truth to people without making it sound very Pan-Africanist, but to make it sound very wise, with text, with roots. Everything you have said, Rabbi Kish, which is exactly the text I was about to bring now. And you will see something very important, and you will understand. But your point and the point of Rabbi Ishai just before will be the conclusion. So give me 10 minutes and you will see where we go. So when we use the when you use the information about the Bnei Esav claiming, we know also the different group of migration in the countries of Africa, different histories about Judaism and Torah in Africa. Now we're going to mix both of them. And we're going to see something, and we're going to do the psak at the end. We will go in the book of Arakadosh called Shar Alikutim. On va dans le livre Arakadosh called Shar Alikutim. In that book, we're going to see two places. On va voir deux endroits dans ce livre. The first one is the parasha Vaishlach. Le premier, c'est dans la parasha de Vaishlach. I'm going to read slowly, but please follow me. Je vais lire doucement, mais s'il vous plaît, suivez-moi bien. Here is what he's saying. It's here. It's about Arakadosh is commenting the pasuk. Hele alufe bene Esav bene Eliphaz. Here are the commandant, the generals of the sons of Esav, the sons of Eliphaz. C'est Matati Katuv Beshem Echad Mitalmidei Arav Zal. So Rabbi Chaim Vital say, I found some writings from one of the students of Arakadosh. J'ai trouvé des écrits dans les étudiants du Arakadosh qui, אלה האלופים הכתובים בסוף הפרשה הם אלוף תמנה, אלוף אלווה, אלוף איתך וכולי. C'est at the end of the parashat Vaishlach, à la fin de la parashat Vaishlach, you have all the families, all the generals of Esav. C'est toutes les familles généraux de la famille de Esav. Timna, Elva, Itach, Em Achad Esre. They are 11. Ils sont 11. There are 11 families, there are 11 generals from that level, qui sont à ce niveau-là. Keneged Yud Aleph Siman Ektoret, he said each one of them is related to one of the species of the Ketoret. You know that in the Ketoret you have 11 species. On sait dans la Ketoret, il y a 11 éléments. I say like this. Ve Aluf Magdiel ou Tish'i. So he said the ninth one, le 9e, his name is Aluf Magdiel. Son nom, il s'appelle Aluf Magdiel. Ve'u Romez el Ayesod Shel Tuma. He say, you know you 10 Sfirot? Yes. You know you have a Sfira of, among the Sfira of Kedusha called Yesod? Yes. Tu connais tes 10 Sfirot? Oui. Tu sais que tu as une Sfira qui s'appelle Yesod? Oui. He say, you have also to know that you have also 10 Sfirot in the dark, in the impurity side. Tu as aussi 10 Sfirot dans le côté impur. Et au niveau de ces Sfirot-là, celui qui incarne le Yesod, which is the central point, which is basically the opposite of the Yosef of the other side. Donc en fait, celui qui est le 9e, qui incarne le Yesod, qui incarne la dimension centrale, le Tzadik, qui est l'opposé du Yosef du côté de la sainteté, it's Magdiel, il s'appelle Magdiel. Ve'afalpi, chez Timtseu Assyrie, even if you will count, you will see that he will be the 10th one, même si tu vas trouver qu'il est le 10e, I'm telling you he's the 9th one. Il dit, sache qu'il est le 9e en fait. He said, don't count him like you count there, count him like the 9th one. Ok. Kfar Yadata, you already knew, tu savais déjà, Kikmo chez Be Yud Aleph Simanak Toret M Asara, like you know also that in the species of the Ketoret, there are 10. Tu sais que dans les épices de la Ketoret, ils sont 10. Ve Aleph Echad ou Or Amakif, and one of them will be the surrounding light. That's why there will be 11. Donc tu sais qu'il y a 10 éléments qui sont les espèces de la les épices de la Ketoret, mais il y a un 10e qui est en fait la lumière encerclante. Ve Mouvla Betochan. Et dit ce 11e là, il est avalé à l'intérieur des 10. He said that 11th one is swallowed in the middle of the 10 species. Gamken mitzada klipa. He said same thing happened in the side of the klipa of the impurity. La même chose se passe du côté de la klipa de l'impureté. Em asarak tarim shel tuma. There are 10 crowns of impurity. Ils sont 10 couronnes de l'impureté. Ve'ahad eser keneged or amakif. And the 11th one is here to represent the surrounding light. Et le 11e, il est là pour représenter la lumière encerclante. Anoten la em chayut. Because that light, the 11th one, is giving to the other 10s life. Parce que cette lumière-là, la 11e, elle donne à tous les autres la vie. Ve'eno muvla benehem, and is not only swallowed and died inside of them. Ve'u romez el aluf timna. So he said, the surrounding light will be aluf timna. So two information very important. The code is very deep. Deux informations très importantes. Le code est très, très profond. The Yesod is Aluf Magdiel. Le Yesod, c'est Aluf Magdiel. And the surrounding light et la lumière encerclante is Aluf Timna. Et la lumière encerclante, c'est Aluf Timna. Ve'im temane me Aluf Elva ad Aluf Magdiel. And if you count from Aluf Elva to Aluf Magdiel, meaning I don't count Aluf Timna that you see here like the first one. I start to count from Aluf Elva because this is the surrounding light. Parce que ça, c'est la lumière encerclante. Donc, je ne compte pas parmi les 10. Je commence à compter le 1 à partir de Elva. He said, if you count like this, Yé Aluf Magdiel, Aluf Magdiel, Atishi, il sait Aluf Magdiel will be the 9th one, il sera le 9e. Chez Uromes Beyoshet Seltuma, because he is the Yesod, the Tzaddik, let's say, of the impurity. Parce qu'il est le Yesod, le Tzaddik de l'impureté. Vechen Pirshu Piresh Rashi, et also Rashi l'a dit. And also Rashi said it. Magdiel Romi Arasha. Oh. Avec you see where you go? He said Magdiel is Romi, Rome, de Racha. Magdiel, c'est Rome le Racha. Racha is the opposite of Tzadik. Racha, c'est l'opposé du Tzadik. Magdiel is Romi Racha. Ve'ya'en besod ashte asre yiriot. Ve'achad asre simanak Torah. Said all this is coming from the mindset of the 11, the number 11 in our Torah. Tout ça, c'est parce qu'on connaît les secrets du nombre 11 dans la Torah. Now look. Venarzor laïnian. Ve'u. Qui, Bisha, c'est Nasa Shlomo et Bat Paro. So let's go back to the topic. He said, from the moment that Shlomo the king married the daughter of Paro, à partir du jour où Salomon a épousé la fille de Paro. Ou be'ota alayla garam le asot zivug betzad klipa. C'est that night he made union in the side of impurity. Il fait cette nuit-là, il a fait des unions du côté de l'impureté. Vezeu besod ayesod shel klipa. C'est because that night was the night where the foundation of the impurity will be empowered. Parce que cette nuit-là, c'est la nuit où le fondement de l'impureté va être renforcé. Veze Ramzu Zaal Be'amram Besha'a Shenasa Shlomo Bat Paro Yarad Gabriel Bene'at Kane Beyam Agadol Bekoule Ki Gabriel ou Mitzad Agdusha Ve Keshem Ne'at Kane Shei Sod Kano Alors, Shol Kano Imakolel הרומז ליסוד של קדושה, כנודע כי קנו בגימטריה 6 הוויות, כנזכר בפסוקים של התורה, תורת השם תמימה וכו'. עד צדקו ירדיו, והם מחסד עד יסוד, שכל מידה יש לה הוויה בפני עצמה, וכולם כלולים ביסוד, הרומז לצדיקים יסוד העולם. So say basically, what's happened? He said, that night when Shlomo went with the daughter of Paro. Cette nuit où Shlomo est parti avec la fille de Paro. The angel Gabriel went out with a staff. L'ange Gabriel est sorti avec un bâton. And basically, he rocked the sea, the big sea, and the sage said that Romi was created at that moment. Donc il dit à ce moment-là, cette union-là, il y a Gabriel est sorti, il a tapé la grande mer, et à ce moment-là, Rome a été créé. So look, Bekano ole keminyan Yosef. He said that Kano, it's Yosef, because I will explain. La remesse des Sod Kenoda. Ou Besha, c'est Nasabat Paro. At the moment when he married the daughter of Paro, au moment où il a épousé la fille de Paro, Garam Gamken la Sod Zivuk Besod Shel Tuma. He basically connect himself with the foundation of impurity. Il s'est connecté aux fondations de l'impureté. Venivnit Romi Arasha. Et s'est construit Romi Arasha. What is Romi Arasha? Vatican. What is Vatican? Christianity. You see? Il dit, à partir du moment où il y a cette connexion-là, Rome s'est construit. C'est quoi Rome? C'est le Vatican. C'est quoi le Vatican? C'est la chrétienté. So Rabbi Kish, we can even go deeper. All the presence of Esav in the countries of Africa, in the continent of Africa, toute la présence de Esav dans le continent d'Afrique, c'est la chrétienté qui est en Afrique. It's the Christianity which is in Africa. And if you see, all the points you brought up, tous les points que tu as ramenés, like you said, the real Negroes, they know fast how to disconnect from that impurity of Christianity. They disconnect fast. All the ones who are handling, building, creating, pushing that, they are from what you call Bnei Esav. What you said, it's written here in the Kitvari. Ce que tu as dit, Rabbi Kish, c'est écrit dans le Kitvari. Ceux qui sont vraiment les Noirs, qu'on appelle les Bantous, les Kouchis, les Négros, c'est ceux, en fait, qui ont une capacité de combat, de déconnexion au christianisme très rapide. Tout le reste, qui sont dans une propension à le faire exister d'une manière ou d'une autre, cette clipa de Esav, qu'on appelle la chrétienté, le Vatican, c'est eux, en fait, les descendants de Esav. They are the Esav descendants. Because today, where is the continent where Christianity, where the Vatican is living very powerfully? Number one, Africa. Number two, Brazil. Quel est le continent où cette impureté vit très très fort? Numéro 1, Vatican. Numéro 2, Brésil. Numéro 1, pardon, Afrique. Numéro 2, Brésil. Sonar Luxe. Look what he said, right? She רומז ליסוד הבניין. ורוצה לומר שנבנה היסודות של רומי הרשע. So he said, on that night, when Shlomo went with the daughter of Paro, because it seems to be here, she wasn't converted to the Torah. This is the problem. Elle n'était pas convertie à la Torah. C'est le problème. So from that day, Rome, the Vatican was created, and all the foundation of the Vatican were created. So you can tell me, what the connection, Rabbi Pinchas? I don't understand. Shlomo is the son of David, but Parosh is the descendant of Mitzrayim. Why this create that? I don't understand. So we have here the answers. See. Ubisha'a she'asa Yerovam shne galim. You see, we have another golden calf. On a un autre veau d'or. Yerovam, which is basically the king of the 10 tribes. Yosef, he made also 2 other golden calves. Il a fait 2 autres veaux d'or. So the 2 other golden calves, the root is the same as the first one. So if you are from the 10 tribes coming in Africa, yes, you do have to fix, because Selikhot is important for you. That impurity was also made from the king Yerovam. And he said, this is related to the story of Vatican, Christianity. Why? Look. Shne galim za'av, nivnit romi arasha al otam hayesodot. So he said, the 2 golden calves that the king Yerovam made, they also came to empower what was created about Shlomo and the Bat Parodi. Les 2 veaux d'or que Yerovam a fait sont venus aussi renforcer la création de Rome que Shlomo avait provoquée. So meaning, in that case, Yehuda is totally responsible because Shlomo is Mer Yehuda, and Yosef, Ephraim, is totally responsible. Why? Because Yerovam is a representative. Donc en fait, dans cette histoire-là, les 2 sont coupables. Et Yehuda et Ephraim. Yehuda parce que Shlomo il a fait ce qu'il a fait, et Ephraim parce qu'ils ont fait ce qu'il a fait. Both of them, they empowered Rome. Les 2 ont renforcé Rome. Et Kavanat Shlomo benesiat bat Paro timtseu bemakom acher yansham zehu mashartu be'atitu. So I said, and he finished. Il a fini. So now what's happened? Let's go back and conclude. On repart et on conclut. We understand here that basically we should not only see the question of Selikhot from the corner of the first golden calf. We have also to know that if golden calf is the reason why Selikhot have been made, we should never forget that we have a second golden calf also. Based on that, we can say that the Selikhot is useful and very important for us as Bnei Afriki. Why? Because we know that the month of Elul, the battle of the month of Elul happened when? In the countries and the lands of Africa, based on the text we have seen. Donc on comprend en fait que quoi? Que nous, en tant que Nusakh Afriki, le Elul, il est très important. Parce que le combat qui est lié à la dimension de ce mois-là, il se passe sur les terres africaines. Pourquoi? Parce que c'est là-bas où la dimension Rome est la plus développée. Because this is in that area where the dimension Romi is the most developed. And this is the month of Esav. C'est le mois de Esav. So that's why the family will be acting on that specific month in that specific areas also. Comme c'est les enfants de Esav, soit que la famille et ces zones-là vont agir d'une certaine manière, de manière très forte pendant ce mois-là. So, first level of halakha. Premier niveau de halakha. If you know that you are from the generation who came with you, who was converted by Yosef and Yaakov, and among the 40 years of Moshe on the land of as king on the land of Cush, and also if you know that you are from the 4/5, the only thing you have to know is that Selikhot for you should be kept from Rosh Chodesh Tishri, let's say, no, not Rosh Tishri, let's say from the 3rd of Tishri till the Kippur. Why? Because that 10 days, they are over the time. They are not normal days. They are 10 days that we call Asara Ma'amakim. We call them the 10 deep water. Donc en fait, si tu es quelqu'un qui vient, tu sais, you have to know it, not that you suppose. Me, for example, I can prove it to you. Moi, je peux vous le prouver, par exemple. You have to know, you have to be sure, and you have to not to play kind of game. Si tu peux le prouver, tu sais que toi, tu es soit de ceux que Yosef a convertis, soit de ceux que Jacob a convertis, soit des 40 ans de règne de Moshe sur la terre de Cush, soit des 4/5e. Les slichot pour vous, c'est plus logique de les faire entre le 3 Tishri jusqu'à Yom Kippur. Pourquoi? Parce que ces 10 jours-là ne sont pas des jours normaux. C'est des jours qu'on appelle les Asara Ma'amakim, c'est des 10 profondeurs. C'est des jours qui sont au-delà du temps. Donc à ce moment-là, il faut avoir une forme de repentance très très forte pour pouvoir commencer les phases féminines du calendrier. So c'est basically that if you know that you are from that root, vous êtes de cette racine-là. Me, I know it. My tribes, we know it. We receive from Yosef. We know. Straight. Based on that, we have been converted by him. So we are not saying that we have that zera. No, we just say we are the one who have been converted by Yosef. This is what I received when I received my initiation as a tribal chief. C'est ce que j'ai reçu comme information quand j'ai reçu mon initiation de chef tribal. So I know it. So if you have people around you who know that, don't judge them. We stay in peace. Let them just perform the slichot from Rosh Chodesh, after Rosh Chodesh Tishri, till Kippur. Ces gens-là, il faut les laisser faire leur slichot à partir de après Rosh Chodesh Elul, Tishri, jusqu'à Kippur. Why? Because this is the message that the Minhag Ashkenazi is telling you. Because the Ashkenazim, the truth is, they are maybe telling you, we know we are from a convert's roots, for example, or we know we are from the 10 tribes, 10 lost tribes. Even no matter what is their history, they made that choice. The sages made that choice. And I, as Nusakh Afriki, I can understand it because I also find roots in the wisdom of our Torah to explain it to some of my brothers in Africa. Some of you, if you know that you root in Judaism, in Torah, come from the lost tribes, come from the Mount Sinai, come from anything which is related to the history and the story we saw now with the golden calves, or with the Mount Sinai, or with your Ram. You should do the Selikhot from the 3rd or after Rosh Chodesh Elul till Yom Kippur. Here, it's not a question of winner or loser. C'est pas une question de gagnant ou de perdant. It's a question of doing a work which is your own work. Important for your roots, for your ancestors, for your family. Important pour votre racine, pour vos ancêtres, pour vos familles. So for sure, it will be easier to say, no, let's make it all of us, and it's going to be included. I know that in Africa, people are very proud of their history as tribes. Someone who is African, someone who is Pan-African, knows we are very proud about our roots. Not roots as nation, roots as tribes. So I can never ask to a Yoruba to do what an Igbo is doing. Even if some people can say, no, let's make it general and everybody will be happy at the end. No, I know that me as a Congo, I cannot do what the Mongo is doing. We have that minag in our history to be very, very jealous about the heritage of our tribes. That's why we, as the chief rabbinate, we should not make the mistake to put on the shoulder of the other the tikkunim of the others. In the land of Africa, it doesn't mean solidarity. It will not be received the same. Why that concept of solidarity can work when you are with the Ashkenazi, with the Sfaradim? Because they cannot trace their tribes and their family. So, because I don't know, it's better to do, not to basically, to miss one halacha. So the sage of Ashkenaz and Sfarad, they are right to make something general for the Sfaradim and something general for the Ashkenazim. Donc les sages Ashkenaz et Sfarad, ils ont eu raison de faire quelque chose de général pour les Sfaradim ou pour les Ashkenazim. Pourquoi? Parce qu'ils ne peuvent pas tracer de quelle famille ils sont des tribus. They cannot trace from which family they are in that tribes. So based on that, you cannot say, no, it's not my history. My family, we were among the one who took the knife when Moshe said took the knife and we killed the other 3,000. You don't know if it was your father. Tu peux pas affirmer aujourd'hui, non, moi je suis de la famille de ceux que Moshe l'a dit prenez un couteau et tuer ceux qui ont fait le veau d'or. Tu peux pas le prouver. Tu sais pas. You don't know. Donc, basé sur ça, il vaut mieux avoir une activité globale où tout le monde est solidaire. So based on that, it's better to have a global activity where everyone is one. So the Ashkenazi and the Sfaradi, sage, they were right. Because that lack of knowledge about the roots of which family you're from, the tribes, bring them to not to be so specific. But in Africa, it's different. Mais en Afrique, c'est différent. Les gens savent de quelle tribu sont, même jusqu'à 10, 15, 20 générations. People know from which tribe they are, even from 6, 10, 20 generations. And even when the history was made in the area where they are now. Et même à quel moment l'histoire a été faite dans la terre ou dans les zones où ils sont maintenant. L'historicité orale n'est pas la même. Elle s'est beaucoup développée, beaucoup gardée, jusqu'à ce qu'aujourd'hui, il y a des initiations de chefs tribales qui sont ni plus ni moins que des rois. Till today, for example, today what do you have? You have tribal chief initiations that bring people to say that we basically make kings. We do have kings. This is blessing from the time when Moshe was king. What Moshe created stayed forever. Ce que Moshe crée, ça reste pour toujours. So, based on that, we should be very clever to provide services for the one who's going to start Selikhot. based on the Rosh on Elul, and also for the one who want to perform it on the time of Tishri. We have to provide, but don't let anyone do anything just by simple feelings. Ne laissez personne faire les choses que par sentiment. You as a chief rabbis, because we are in the Limud now and people are watching us, you have to check their history, to listen to the history of their family, and to see if you give to them the authorization of Selikhot from Elul or Selikhot from Tishri. Take that task very serious. That this is the all respect of the transmission of our Torah that will be performing. Parce que c'est tout le respect de la transmission de notre Torah, de notre of our tradition also, de notre tradition qu'on va respecter. And like you say, Rabbi Kish, it's very simple, c'est très simple. All the Bnei Esav, you know me, I'm not someone who promotes Chas v'Shalom hatred, but sometimes we have to bring truth on the table to be able to open all the cases. Mais des fois, il doit porter la vérité sur la table pour ouvrir tous les cas. What killed Africans is because Christianity arrived in our coast before 6 centuries. Ce qui a tué l'Afrique, c'est que la chrétienté est arrivée dans nos côtes africaines il y a plus de 6 siècles. This brought us to erase and to ignore the roots of identity, and some of us to forget about what we were exactly. Ça nous a amené en fait à venir briser et cacher et effacer les racines de notre identité. Et on est devenu des peuples amnésiques. We become amnesic people. And today, when we study with respect all the transmission of different traditions in Africa, we do see Mishnah inside. Mais aujourd'hui, quand on étudie avec patience et respect les traditions africaines des différentes tribus, on voit la Mishnah dedans. So the war of the Bnei Esav on the lands of Africa, it's basically the destruction that Christianity brought. La guerre que les Bnei Esav ont amenée dans les terres africaines, c'est cette chrétienté qui est venue. And like you said, Rabbi Kish, comme tu as dit, Rabbi Kish, you can see that all the area where you have no Negroes, they are very, very, very strong in settling Christianity and erasing the traditions. You will see. Vous aurez remarqué que tous ceux qui ne peuvent pas identifier comme Kushi, Bantu, c'est des zones en général où on est très très fort pour effacer les traditions et asseoir d'une certaine manière ou de protéger d'une certaine manière la chrétienté. So now before I conclude, do you have any question? Avant de conclure, est-ce que vous avez des questions?
Rabbi, I have a question.
Yes.
In the issue of the diaspora, there's several problematic, which you can elaborate later because I know there's not a lot of time. But the issue is we know the slave trade. One of the strategies done by the slave owners was to mix Africans from different nations. That way they would not be able to communicate among themselves. They would feel weak. And that became problematic as far as identity, because one of the things that took place in the land of Brazil, the destruction of the African identity, where some cannot even trace which language they're spoken. However, some of them may have a strong neshama, the Jewish neshama, calling them back to Judaism. What would be the wisest? For example, maybe the father side would be Ben and Yosef. The mother side would be a different. How would you advise in how to counsel and how to listen to that struggle?
What I will say, what I will say is like this: is that first of all, we have to make a statement here. All the people who basically think that Africans sell their own brothers, and many Black American, they do think that we made the choice of money. The truth is that all the slave trade in Africa was made by Arabic Negroes, not Negroes, Arabic black people. Sorry, I'm correct. Arabic black people. One of the most famous of them was Tipo Tip. He's not a Negro. He's a black from, I think he was in Zanzibar. He was from the Mecca, maybe something like that. They had no consideration for the Kushite. And this is a point very important, that all the diaspora from different stories, from the Maranos till the slave trade, they have to know that in terms of halakha, it's very simple for us to reconnect them to the root. Why? Because we know that even if we have specificity among Congolese, Cameroonian, Nigerian, Guinean, Central African, Gabonese, we Namibian, Angolese, we know that we have specificity, but we do know that we are identified as one. Because in the tradition, the oral tradition we receive when we become tribal chief, as king, let's say, we know that another Matan Torah is written in the oral transmission of our fathers. They said that all of the 4/5, they receive a Torah also. And that Torah made us one, even if we will be 12 tribes also. All this topic is not a topic that we can study in public. It's a topic we keep it secret because we're going to bring them up when time will be up. But we can connect you as one. Many structure today can help to trace some origin. And we as Chief Rabbinate, we will have to help, to be very helpful, to be the most specific as possible. But just by using the aspect of conversion, we're going to remove all the impurity of the golden calves. So basically, it can be a choice for the one who cannot trace the history, not here, not there, because the roots of the ancestrality in Africa was a bit lost. So my thing is we have to bring it to be a choice. So what is the best way? Tipadam, you are convert, you have no impurity, so you can just choose. But you know that the second option from Tishri is basically a must. Why? Because that 10 days, many things are forbidden, even to eat bread from non-Jew and so on. We see that they are not related to historical facts. They are expression of spiritual battles. So we will do a work about that to help them to know that we can root you to something general when we don't have anything specific. But this work has to be made. Because for us, we suffer as brothers who see their brothers being sold. Because at the same time, at the same place, we are still enslaved in our mind, in our economy, in our culture, in our society, till now by the one who programmed all that trade. Bezrat Hashem.
Thank you, Rabbi Zakbo. Excellent.
Is there any other question?
Oui, j'aurais une question.
Rabbi Shai.
Si, par exemple, donc une personne, enfin, un tribu sait qu'il est des 10 tribus qui sont perdues, Et ils ont donc le choix de faire la conversion Alpi Nusakh Afriki, donc 3 jours chez Leg, 40 jours, 3 jours, et Tipat Dam. Et à ce moment-là, même s'ils sont de cette lignée de Jéroboam, on va dire, l'impureté n'est plus là. Et là, ils peuvent choisir ou ils doivent quand même continuer la voda.
À partir du moment où il y a la conversion qui est là, il n'y a plus d'impureté. Ni la première, ni la deuxième. Parce que c'est un homme qui n'était ni là, ni là. Mais le choix minimal, c'est de se porter vers la dimension du 10 jours, la ticherie. Si maintenant ils veulent manifester une sororité de manière libre, il ne faut pas empêcher.
D'accord. Toda Rabba.
Is there a question? Banim Tzadikim? I will finish by showing to you something very important. Why what we are doing is essential. Je vais conclure en vous montrant quelque chose de très important pour que vous voyez pourquoi ce que nous faisons est essentiel. And it will be my last words. Et ça sera mes derniers mots. So look this. I send the picture in the Chief Rabbi group. And I will share my screen to everybody. And it will be the conclusion. Et ça sera la conclusion. Yes. This is a map, kind of map. C'est une sorte de tableau of the generation of Tanaim. Génération des Tanaim. So it means that I want you to understand what do we have. Vous comprenez ce que nous avons, and why the Nusakh Afriki is very important. Et pourquoi le Nusakh Afriki est très important. See, the first one who identifies the Tana is Shimon HaTzadik. He's here. Shimon HaTzadik. He gave his Torah to Antigonus. All these, you have them in the Pirkei Avot. But you see, here is Rabbi Nechunya ben Akane. That's Rabbi Nechunya ben Akane, the one who wrote the book we study from. And you see Rabbi Nechunya ben Akane, it's way before, c'est bien avant Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So meaning the book where we build our mindset in terms of halacha come from someone who was here way before, who received directly from Hillel and Shammai. And you see, also in that time, you have king and Av Beddin. Simon Shadik was a king and Av Beddin. Antigonus also, but at this moment here, they separate. You have one king, one Av Beddin. One king, one Av Beddin. This is the secret of the Zugot. Shmaya Aftalion. But look now. You see, here is the time when the Mishnah was complete. Ça, c'est le temps où la Mishnah était complétée. Rabbi Yehuda Anasi, it's here. So the Mishnah was completed after the Zohar was written. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. You see? Vous voyez? La Mishnah a été complétée bien après que le Zohar a été complété. From that base, you understand why now you need to teach foundation of Sod before to start to study halacha. Because the one who make all the Mishnayot, they were masters of Sod before. You see, Rabbi Shimon here, and the Zohar, it's way before the Mishnah was completed. Not only that. If the Mishnah is completed here, it means that the Gemara comes after. Si la Mishnah est complétée ici, c'est-à-dire la Gemara elle vient après. meaning that the understanding of Rabbi Nechunya in terms of halacha or minagim, it's basically something cannot be contested. If you don't contest Rabbi Akiva, Kal vachomer Rabbi Nechunya, is the closer one to the roots of the prophet. What said the first Mishnah? Moshe received Torah from the Sinai, gave it to Yehoshua. Yehoshua gave it to the elders, and the elders to the prophet, and the prophet to the people of the great assembly. In the great assembly, who do you have there? You have Ezra, you have Daniel, you have Malachi. They are from the great assembly. So what we receive from Rabbi Nechunya, the way he explained things, la manière dont il explique des choses qu'on reçoit de lui, look, it's very close to the great assembly. So that's why we need his mindset, and his mindset, basically Rabbi Nechunya, Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, to explain the Mishnah. Because if you want to explain the Gemara, not using them, you lose all the logicality. Why I'm telling you that? Because the psak we have done today about the Selikhot is based on the mindset of someone who was that close from the Great Assembly. So le psak qu'on a fait aujourd'hui, c'est en fait basé sur l'analyse d'un Tana qui était à quelques générations de la Grande Assemblée. Ezrat Hashem. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen et Amen.
Amen.
Toda rabba. Toda Baruch. Toda rabba lachem.
Amen.
Merci.
Amen, amen. Chazak Baruch.
אותי Chief Rabbi El Natan El Hanan. תודה רבה רבי ישי, תודה רבה Chief Rabbi אבישי, Chief Rabbi אבי משה, Chief Rabbi Rabbi Kish, רבנית רחל.
תודה רבה.
תודה רבה à tous.
Thank you, Rabbi. Please, before we log on, so everybody will do Selikhot from beginning of Elul till the end of Yom Kippur.
I say it's if you don't have any proof about the roots of your Judaism in Africa, it's better to start at Elul, because you have the golden calf of Mount Sinai and the golden calf of Yerovam, and battling Christianity in the land of Africa, we do need strength. But if you do know where is your root, like for example in my case, just do it in the time of Tishri. If you are a convert and you know that you don't have neither nor this impurity, neither this impurity nor this impurity, make a choice. Feel free.
Rav, I know it's ended, but is that fair to say that Christianity is one of the golden calf?
The text I brought is that it's telling you that this is the element what was empowered by the golden calf that Yerovam made. So the fact that we have so many Christianity in Africa and Brazil means that we do have a lot of souls in this generation which are from the golden calf of Yerovam. So better for them to do the Selikhot from Elul, because the month
Excellent, Rabbi. Brazil is the cornerstone of the Vatican.
Yes. So it's important to do it from Elul, because this is the month when we fight back Esav, the month we grab from him, and we have to perform certain things in that case. So I think that the reality will be 80% of the people keeping Nusakh Afriki will be doing Selikhot on Elul, like everybody. The one, like I can sense, like Rabbi Kish Rabbi Ishai, Rabbi Natan, and Hanan, that we know our history. We took time to make deep research about our origins, and we can maybe trace exactly at which moment we are connected to Judaism. We will do it according to the transmission of our tribes. From my corner, I will have to do it from Rosh Chodesh Tishri. It's not to say that I'm against the Arakadosh. No, Arakadosh is telling you a general work, what he was doing with the tzibur, with the public. So sometime Arakadosh, you have to know, even if he could do it from his own to say where it's from in his souls, but in terms of paper fact, you don't have heritage with all the destruction we had with the time. So yes, Elul, an exception done for the one who make the choice of Tishri because they are proud of their conversion, or the one who know that their roots is from a generation where not Jeroboam and not the golden calf of the time of Moshe were connected to their soul at all.
Rabbi, excellent, beautiful.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So Rabbi, please, before you go,
Yeah.
the rule you teach us most times to follow the rule of the majority. Now, we all here want Nusakh Afriki to be one and united. Should we not make the rule of majority so we don't have different opinions in Nusakh Afriki? Because most times it gives me worry. Why should we come to want to study halakha? You go to the Talmud, everything. They have different opinions. They have to 10 opinions. This opinion, and there are a lot of confusion. And why it worries me is that when Moshe Rabbeinu was here, it was one opinion. Whatever Moshe says, everybody does. After Moshe Rabbeinu was cut coming down, having different opinion, and now the Holy One, blessed is He, has made it to happen through you that the Africa will resurrect. And Africa is the root of Moshe. So why not we now try and make it one, even though I know I am not connected, but because of my brothers, I am doing this. So I will have one front, so that when the enemy want to attack us, they don't bring so many questions to us. Why you do different? We will start explaining so many things, but we know Nusakh Afriki is doing one. So won't it be okay? We look at it and they say it is like this, yes, but let us, all of us, do this. Shalom.
Shalom. The last week, I gave a limud about the secret of machloket. I explained how I wrote a text explaining how people totally misunderstand the presence of different opinion in the Mishnayot. And the purpose is not to talk about people being opposite, or saying different things, but the purpose was to say why this one come to complete this one. So where I'm doing like this, in that case specifically, on the other case, I will do differently. Because in that case, we know, you and me, we know the proudness of the tribes and the family tribes in Africa. When we start by saying that the concept of Selikhot is related to your personal history as a tribe, as a family, if you come from that sin or not. This can be an explosive situation if we don't act with wisdom. If you say to everybody, let's do it like that, one day one will come say, Rabbi Kish, why didn't you tell me that I was not maybe obliged to do it? We'll see now, it was the purpose of the majority. And he will ask to you, so how come you apply majority while we know that machloket is the purpose of of the purpose of Marloket is to create unanimity, not to create division. So the purpose is like this. For sure, you have laws where we will always do like this. 97% we're going to have one way to act. But because the Selikhot, people consider it more like a minag. The truth is like this. People don't say that if I don't do Selikhot, I did the Chaz v'Shalom Isur. I have to bring a korban. So from the moment that it's a minag, it's worthy to use it like a tool to bring people to be more aware about their own identity. By opening the gates, you will see that tomorrow more people are going to check and ask more about their own history. Because today we know that if someone is not doing Selikhot, it's not Isur. You have many people today that don't do Selikhot at all, Rabbi Kish. And in the 10 days, they are doing it because they say it's the 10 days of the creation. It's higher than every day. It's not normal days. So they will do it just because of the fear of the 10 days. And they will more respect the fact of not eating bread from non-Jews than to do the Selikhot. This is the reality. But now, when you see people doing it like that, maybe we should use it as a tool to bring and to awake our brothers about understanding and knowing more about their own identity. This is why I'm doing it like that. This is not a machloket in terms of halacha. It's a minag. It's a minag, and if someone is not doing, no one, not you, not me, we can say you did an avera. No, it's not written at all like that. That's why, in that case, I'm more open. Because I know that even if he's not doing, he's not sinning. So let's use that possibility to bring and to build something deeper. But in the other cases where we are not in the minag, in the halacha, believe me, we will do like one body. But in that case, that's why I took a limud to explain it, to understand that with something we do which are not considered like halacha or isur, we have to understand that we have here possibility to build many things and to give maybe another push to our tribes. So by being so precise, they will say, wow, on a minag, we are so precise. Imagine what they will say on halacha. So by bringing possibilities in minagim, you basically empower the desire and the identity of each one of us, especially in Africa, because we love to remind our tribes. But can give you insurance on the other topic about the halacha. Believe me, Rabbi Kish, it will be straight one. But it's a minag. It's not a soul not to do. You don't do, you don't do. You do, it's better.
Rabbi, I appreciate.
תודה רבה, רבי קיש. ברוך אדוני לעולם אמן ואמן, תודה רבה. So, and see you יום חמישי, רפואה שלמה to your father, Rabbi Moshe Yitro, רפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף, יברכך אדוני שמך יאר, אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישמרך שלום, ושמו את שמי בן ישראל, ואני אברכם, בעזרת השם. רפואה שלמה. תודה רבה צדיקים.
Shalom.
שלום אבא, שלום. רפואה שלמה. ביי צדיקים, תודה רבה רבי משה, תודה רבה. ביי.
Thank you.
Thank you.
שלום, אתה עטף אותו.